Liberating Arts. Now this we start today too, so that's really interesting to have two new episodes start on the same day. And like I said, the activation of mind is just really inspiring. It's really wonderful. Not to do so much, but to recognize that it's just opening up. It's just opening up. Like there's so much more possible. Suddenly you find yourself in finding like music coming to you. It's more like you start to think with the universe. This is the activation I was talking about in the previous hour. Like there's an activation of mind. The creative part of your selfness is literally helping you to think with the universe. Like all of it is you. All of it is supporting you. Now, why not just literally include it in and let it work through you? You don't have to do that. Like in that sense, it's not a burden on your back for, all right, now I have to do this too, and it's already too much, now I need to do more. Like, no, not at all, not at all. It's really like an activation of places inside your mind, inside your consciousness that you didn't activate before. Now with the liberating arts, it is not different. So it's like there's so much offered, there's so much possible for you to discover. And this is one part of that. So I'm really happy that you joined this Liberating Arts, and we use this directly to come into, say, a practical expression too, of how do you demonstrate this? How do you teach this? How can you let this be part of your transformation in a way that is actually helpful? Not that you have to figure this out, but that you have to discover how it actually is working and see that it's possible. That's the beauty of this. So yeah, I'm really excited to do this with you. And today we have a special guest, that's Mr. Gurdjieff. And I love to start with him because he does, in that sense, he brings in his own discoveries in a very different way too, in a very practical way. And that I can relate to that. I love that. And today we will look at some of the expressions of Gurdjieff, or the ways that he uses art, you could say, as a transformative tool, because that's a bit what we're doing with the liberating arts. We're discovering more about using art or self-expression as a transformative tool to come to the recognition that your mind works totally different than you expected it to do. And of course, you can say like many artists have already discovered that too. That's why they literally let it happen, what occurred in their lives, because they could not believe that it would happen this way. Like you can make a drawing about some kind of sculpture that you want to make, but if that idea is shared and suddenly comes to life into a visual expression, that is recognized as valuable to take a look at, or it's actually helping you and others to see, oh, there's more, or this is another way of looking at everything. Like we saw this in the In Spirit, so like with Anish Kapoor, he makes this big egg in the middle of Chicago, where everyone is taking a whole different look at the world. It's like, wow, that's so amazing. It looks so real, and it's so contorted and so twisted and so different. So this is just as well for the artist as for the one who is actually paying a visit to watch it, to take a look at it, and a very revealing experience. And so you don't have to judge what you see, but you can take part in it and play with it and see that the joy that you discover when doing so. Because if you judge it, you would say, well, I don't like mirroring objects, so I really don't like to take a look at that. It's like meaningless to me. It's like, okay, then that's fine too, but then you miss, in fact, the possibility of using it to include into your experience. Now this, with the liberating arts, is really about the inclusion not to have a judgment about what we do or how this is going to run in you, like what it's going to do with you, but more to come to the discovery how much fun it is to discover and play, and to see that's really different for you, that really adds something to you, that you literally see that you're in communication with the whole universe, because that's literally what you are. It does not have an exception. So it's getting summer here in Holland too, so it's kind of warm in here. So excuse me for my drink here, but I have to give some water to my throat. I discovered that. So let's take it easy today. Liberating arts. So we do some interesting things in terms of looking at what Mr. Gurdjieff uses as transformative tools. That's for one thing. Now, one specific part that he uses is in fact the unlearning, or the confrontation at first, the confrontation with automation. And this, I think, is a very interesting subject, because if you take a look at what you do today, for instance, or what your modus is, like how do you live your life, what do? You pick up your phone, and the phone tells you, wakes you up in the morning. That's automated, 7:15 or 5:15 or who knows what. It can be like this. I'm just giving you a sketch. Like, it can be that it wakes you up, so your day starts with an automation. And this continues. Now I get a reminder that I have an agenda. I have a reminder that at 8:40 I'm going to do this, and at 9 I'm going to do that, and I have to go there, and I have to see that, and I have to take this with me. Like, before you know it, you are organizing and literally organizing your thoughts, or letting that be organized for you in your automation that you use by using your phone and thinking that you have to live that way. Now, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It is just a recognition of something that's automated. Now, the universe doesn't know about automation. It has no need to it, being not related to time at all. But to that what is, to the immediate expression on a moment-by-moment basis, an immediate expression of itself. And this is the big thought, you could say, relating to the universe. And there's no program. So it's like, no, here it is. This is it. This is it. It doesn't go anywhere. This is it. It's coming to full extension. It's so creative. It's so much alive that it's complete every moment. It has nothing to do with anything else. It is just what it is. And it's not static. It's very dynamic. See, this is the discovery we're coming into. So that recognition is wonderful. But it's like, on our way to it, we use transformational tools to come to the ultimate experience of recognizing that we're all of it, that we are the universe, and that the discovery we're making is that we were already that. We just got some ideas out of the way. The transformative tools like that Gurdjieff uses, one of them was the dance. And this is beautiful, so we can take a look at a dance. I have a reference in the syllabus too. Like, there's a beautiful dance, and the dance is really based it's not so much about the beauty of the dance, but it's about you cannot think while you're dancing. You cannot think of, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, this is the next posture or something like this. That will not work. Like, you will miss the rhythm in which this is flowing. So in other words, there's a whole different way of learning. It's like yeah, just like learning to play piano with two hands in different rhythms. You have to come into that, and that's one thing. It's like it's a bit of neuroscience here, but that's a part of it too. Like literally, you discover everything is possible because your mind is literally unlimited in its capacity to extend itself, because that is what the universe is. It's a creative self-expression. On a scale so fast, there's no limit to it. It's like this into eternity. Not that eternity has anything to do with time. Okay, so mind's blown already. So let's do it as very concrete, like let's watch the dance of with Gurdjieff. A Korean dance group is actually performing this. Really lovely. All right, so this is really wonderful as an example. And so you see that it's like all these movements have nothing to do really with a dance in that sense, but more like this is really practical to come to following instructions, in fact, to let that, what your tendency is, you're not going to listen to that, but you follow the instructions of doing it this way, doing it that way. Like literally to come to a reformulation or an undoing of the automation. Freedom and self-expression, liberating arts. Okay, George Ivanovich Gurdjieff, a mystic, spiritual leader, used sacred dances, often called movements, because that's more what it is, as a central and transformative tool in his system of self-development known as the Fourth Way. He believed that these dances were much more than mere physical exercises. They were a practical method to awaken consciousness. Transformative tools, well, here are some. Breaking automatism and cultivating presence. Integrating three centers: intellectual, emotional, and moving. Transmitting esoteric knowledge. Developing attention and concentration. Rehabilitating the body. So these were, say, important parts of his transformative tools. There are more, but I say collected these. And now especially breaking automatisms and cultivating presence is the one that I want to go a little bit deeper into it. Here's our entrance into the next subject, and that's this how to break robotic human behavior. Robotic behavior. I use the word robotic behavior just because, say, Gurdjieff in his time used the word machines. Like a human being is a machine. He's just literally repeating everything from a past reference. And Master Teacher tells you the same. It's like it is based on past ideas, and you keep repeating it, and you think that is life. Now that's not life. So you discover something new when you stop these automations, when literally the patterns that you're familiar with are no longer in use, or that you start to reconsider them, to let them go, to come into a different experience of yourself. And this is part of it. Now, I thought it's an interesting idea, automation, in this time of automation, that you find yourself in, like, just an example, this telephone that keeps bringing information in, automated. Like, yeah, you say, like, I want from this channel, I want everything. Okay, then from that channel, everything is coming to you. The so-called algorithm is selecting it for you. It's all automated. It literally feeds you on a daily basis to your consumption, to your sense of, what is that actually then? Like, is that information? Is that new? Is that creative? Is that bringing something to you that tells you really something about yourself? No. No, it is not. It is literally past-based, and it brings you to a sleep. It brings you to a sleep because you really think there's going to something happen because of that, or it has an effect on you because you really think there's something outside of you happening that has, in first instance, nothing to do with you. In fact, it is confirming, yeah, you can trust the automation. This is your world and nothing changed. And yes, there's no peace here. And we keep repeating that, and keep repeating that, and keep repeating that. Now this is the part that we are familiar with coming from a human experience. You're familiar with that, whether you were conscious of it or not, because you might not even be conscious how you are used to automation. Now this idea came to me, and it's just for fun. I tried to make a creative project of it. The question is how to undo robotic human behavior, being a machine, like a robot, programmed based on past ideas, putting everything put in there just for the repetition of it, for the automation of it. That's a robot. Like, how can you take that out of your human behavior? How can you wake up out of that? To me, that's a very interesting question. And I had an answer. I received an answer about that. I recognized the truth of who I am. But in our AI, artificial intelligent world that we discover and place so much trust and value in, because like the investments are high on AI, incredibly high on AI. It uses 20% of all the electricity in the world already. Now, so that must be very important if I believe the world to be true, which I don't. But anyway, I'm going to use it. So I put the AI machine to a sweat and asked the question, what do you think? Like, okay, here it is. Now, robot, tell me how to undo robotic behavior in humans. And like I said, I made a creative project of it. So there's a bit of voice modulation, there's a bit of change, there's a bit of music in the background, or you'll discover what it is. But it will tell you something about that. I asked Gemini, the AI assistant from Google, the 2.5 Flash version, how to break robotic behavior in humans. When talking about robotic behavior in humans, it usually refers to a lack of spontaneity, emotional expression, and natural social interaction. It might manifest as monotone speech, little variation in pitch and volume, limited facial expressions, a flat or unchanged face, rigid body language, stiff posture, minimal gestures or repetitive movements, a difficulty with social cues, not picking up on sarcasm or humor or emotional signals, repetitive or predictable actions, following routines rigidly, struggling with improvisation, lack of empathy or emotional responsiveness, appearing detached or unable to connect with others' feelings. Breaking these patterns can involve a combination of self-awareness, practice, and sometimes professional guidance. Here are some strategies to break robotic behavior in humans. Why not increase self-awareness? And the suggestions that are given here are: observe yourself, pay attention to your own speech patterns, facial expressions, and body language in different situations. You can even record yourself to identify areas of improvement. Ask for feedback. Ask trusted friends and family members to point out when you seem robotic or detached. Be open to their observation. Journaling. Reflect on your interactions and emotions. What situations trigger this robotic behavior? What emotions are you suppressing? And then another strategy would be to practice expressiveness. Vocal exercises. Practice varying your pitch, tone, volume when speaking. Read aloud with different emotions: happy, sad, angry, excited. Facial exercises. Practice making different facial expressions in a mirror. Continuously try to match your expressions to your emotions. Body language awareness. Pay attention to your posture. Relax your shoulders. Use open gestures and make eye contact. Improv exercises. Engage in activities that encourage spontaneity and quick thinking, like improv classes or games. Now here's another strategy to break the robotic behavior. Develop emotional intelligence. Now, how do we do that? Identify and name emotions. Learn to recognize and label your own emotions and those of others. Empathy building. Practice putting yourself in others' shoes. Imagine how they might be feeling and why. Active listening. When others speak, focus on understanding their perspective, not just waiting for your turn to talk. Pay attention to their non-verbal cues. Respond authentically. Instead of giving a rote or logical answer, try to connect with the emotional subtext of the conversation and respond genuinely. So the fourth way to break the robotic behavior is, according to AI, engage in social interaction. Seek out different and diverse social situations. Don't just stick to the familiar routines or people, but put yourself in new social environments. Practice small talk. Start with simple interactions like greeting people, asking open-ended questions, and sharing brief observations. Join groups or clubs. Engage in activities that align with your interest, providing natural opportunities for connection. Observe others. Pay attention to how socially adept people interact. What do they do that you could incorporate? If the robotic behavior is really impacting your relationships, consider professional help. Therapy or counseling. If robotic behavior is impacting your relationships or causing distress, a therapist can help you explore underlying causes. That is, social anxiety, past trauma, autism, spectrum disorder, and developing coping mechanisms and social skills. Social skills training. Some therapists and coaches specialize in helping individuals to improve their social communication and interaction. Well, here is an important consideration. Neurodiversity. It's important to acknowledge that some individuals, particularly those on the autistic spectrum, may naturally present with traits that could be perceived as robotic. In these cases, the goal isn't to cure or change who they are, but to help them navigate social situations more comfortably and effectively, if that is their desire. Authenticity. The aim is not to become someone you're not, but to unlock your natural expressiveness and connect more authentically with others. Patience. Breaking ingrained habits takes time and effort. Be patient and compassionate with yourself. By consciously working on these areas, you can gradually break free from robotic patterns and foster more natural, fluid, and emotionally resonant human interactions. All right, well, I love this. I love this for the inclusion of it. Not that it's giving me any information, like it's not really giving me information. No, it's past-based. It's not creative. It's not healing you on the spot, so to speak. It's not bringing you into a different experience of yourself. No, not in the form that it entails, like not in the words that are being used, not in the way that it's looked at, but I included it in. Now, the inclusion of it was a lot of fun, like the play with it was a lot of fun. And so did I discover something new for myself? Yeah, it's like talking about the activation of mind. It is, you don't have to exclude anything. It's like, it's not that I now have to throw out my phone because none of it doesn't make any sense. Like, no, I include it in. It's not that I'm getting addicted to it or anything like that. Like, I don't have to do that. I don't choose to have that experience, but I can still use it in the way that is given me to do. Now, here's the thing, like I said, in the activation of mind, I'm just using myself as an example just to express this. Like, to make a recording, to actually read this, what an AI computer, in fact, told me, is then one thing. I've learned to do that. Now, I'm using this with a voice modulation. I use a voice modulation program that I've never used before. Not that that's so great that I do that, but it's more like, no, this came to me and I'm using it. And I don't know how to do that, but it was giving me how to use it. That's why this fell into place in this way. Now, to see that happening in what you do is literally allowing the universe to show you something that you didn't see before or never did before and don't have to do ever again at the same time. But it was possible to do it this way, to let it come to expression this way. Now this is it's like a lucidity that is really helpful. That's an activation of your mind in which you come to self-expression. Not you deciding what to use and what not to use, but basically it's just giving you listen, you see, and you don't reject, or you don't resist it. You invite it in and let it work through you to come to something that actually teaches you something new. In your discovery of that, you extend it. Now, wonderful. It's like this is really what that is. It's like it's opening up in your consciousness. It's given to you to use. And your mind is like, it's unlimited in its possibilities, in even in the things to do. Like, there's more to discover. You can learn languages, you can express yourself maybe you can speak certain languages and you didn't even know. Like, no, you have to learn it. Okay, then I think I have to learn it. No, there's an openness that gives you the opportunity to see that what is needed in the moment is given you. You can trust that, however that is looking, in whatever form that's being presented to you. Now here we come to a real, like, enlightening way of looking at the possibilities for you in an activated mindset. Really beautiful. So I see this at work in everything that I do. Otherwise it would be impossible for me to do this. The interesting thing, for instance, is this. It's like even YouTube, like I post videos on YouTube. YouTube sends me almost every month, it sends me an email with concerns, because it's like, well, really take good care of yourself, because you literally say published about 70 different videos in 1 month. Like, take care of yourself, don't overdo it, or like this. And then it's like, I have no idea, this is just happening through me. And everything is open, so I'm not calculating. Like, God does not calculate. It doesn't know what it's doing in that sense. Like, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. This is my experience in coming to this self-expression in my whole-mindedness. Now this is the opportunity, and this is what we practice here in the liberating arts, using everything, in fact, all inclusive-ness in coming to your self-expression.